All right, a very pleasant good afternoon, one and all again. So for all who may be seeing me for the first time, my name is Christopher Francie, and I am the manager of the instructional designers and technologists here at UTT. And so you all have humbly chosen to participate in this second cohort of the Certificate in Instructional and Learning Technologies. All right, so I'm sure that persons would have had the opportunity to go through the material. There's a very brief course outline. And so you would be aware that the training runs for a period of 6 weeks. And basically every other week we meet on Zoom. So basically, if we're meeting every other week, then there are only 3 synchronous sessions on Zoom. All right. So next week will not be Zoom, but the following Wednesday, there'll be another session and so forth. All right. So it's going to run for 6 weeks. Every other week is Zoom. But however, every week you're expected to engage in the relevant activities on the platform. All right. And so very briefly, in the next 3 minutes, I just want to introduce the team members. And so I'm just gonna do it very briefly. So I've spotlighted, yes, Shelly. Yes, I've put you on spotlight. All right, so Shelly is one of the moderators for this particular training course. She is one of the instructional designers at TLIS, and she is versed in a variety of technologies. One of the things that she does is animation. That's actually her specialization when she did the Masters of Educational Technology. And so you can rest assured that her expertise in that area, as well as being one of the initial Zoom administrators, that you're going to get a wealth of knowledge as she guides you along the various technologies that you're going to use in this particular training program. All right. And so apart from Shelly, we now have Ravina. All right, so they give everybody a good wave, please. All right, so she's one of the members of our instructional design team as well. The team is very small, but at the end of the day, we are very strong in terms of the skill sets that we have and that we're able to contribute. And so I am just grateful to have both ladies who are going to be carrying you all through the training experiences in the CILT cohort 2, and rest assured that you are in safe hands. Ravina as well is trained in the area of educational technology, and I believe she also did animation when she did her program. Is that the case, Ravina? Was it animation as well? Yes. All right. So again, they would understand all the various principles when it comes to content creation, of course, designing certain elements, being an instructional designer. And so while this is not a teaching course, what we want to show you is basically how you can design training experiences, one, or on the other hand, support the teaching experience if that's your particular role. So we're going to have persons who are basically going to be persons who have worked in the lab. You're going to have persons who may be admin assistants, persons who are going to be basically in HR. And you will be looking at how can this particular training experience enable you to do some of the tasks that you do. And so hopefully as you go through it, you would be it'll widen your understanding as to, okay, how you can utilize the existing technologies at UTT to really build out trading experiences for stakeholders that you have to engage in, and so forth. So for instance, this year with regards to the reaccreditation, QNIE has, they have been working with us to develop a self-paced training course to assist persons who are involved in the reaccreditation in terms of external persons. So, when you go through this experience, hopefully it'll give you some ideas as to how you can apply it. And apart from what benefit you can have here at UTT, I mean, if you happen to spread the wings and fly away, of course, the lessons that you learn here could be utilized elsewhere as well, all right? As long as persons are utilizing similar technologies. And so this program is basically going to be moderated by these 2 individuals. Overall, I don't want to say I see and know all, but as the manager, I'll be observing and monitoring and providing support where necessary. But throughout the next 6 weeks, these are the 2 young ladies who will be providing you all with the relevant training. And so I am now exiting at this point in time as I have to go off and prep for another meeting as I have a series of things throughout this day. So thank you all for consenting to be part of cohort 2. And I hope that the experience will be a wonderful one. And I just encourage you all to stay on as now Shelley would, begin discussing with you all some elements with regards to asynchronous interaction. So within the next 50 minutes or 49 minutes, I hope you can give Shelley Carrington your undivided attention. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye.
Bye, Chris. Take care. So good day, everyone. Are you all hearing me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Great. Awesome. So good day, everyone. And again, welcome to the CILT course. We are happy that you decided to join us. Today, we will be exploring the asynchronous digital learning environment with a special emphasis on Canvas, the learning management system, or LMS, we use here at UTT. Before we delve into the Canvas platform, we must first examine the definitions of asynchronous and asynchronous learning. To get a better understanding of how this applies to the educational setting, we will be comparing it to synchronous learning. 1 second, let me just admit this person into the session. And we will also be briefly exploring the meaning of the digital learning environment. And once we have a clear understanding of these terms, we will explore the features in the Canvas LMS to get an idea of how they can be used to improve your work here at UTT. So let's get started. What exactly does asynchronous mean? Essentially, this means not occurring at the same time, not existing at the same time, or having the same period of phase. Or in simple terms, it means not being synchronous. Now, you may already be familiar with the term asynchronous communication, where two or more people can communicate without the requirement that they be present at the same exact moment in time. For example, sending emails in Microsoft Outlook, using the post or chat features in Microsoft Teams, and even the announcement features here in Canvas. There is also the concept of asynchronous work, where rather than requesting or expecting employees to be online, available, and responsive during set work hours, companies that operate asynchronously allow, allow their employees to complete tasks and answer colleagues when it's convenient for them. And this can be done within a reasonable time frame, like 24 hours, for instance. And I'm sure many of you, like myself, would be interested in this option. So give us a thumbs up using the reactions icon if you agree, or if you would like UTT to implement asynchronous working hours. Thumbs up, anybody would agree with this? Only Ravina? Oh, we have Charisse. I mean, it's a few people. Wow. Okay, so we will create a petition and sign so we could send to HR. Right. Now, while we're on the topic of asynchronous, it would be remiss of me not to mention asynchronous learning. Excuse me for a second, please. Let me just run across the other side. My apologies, it was a bit noisy on my end, so I just needed to get the noise to be lower. Now, while we're on the topic of asynchronous, it would be remiss of me not to mention asynchronous learning. When used in an educational context, asynchronous learning refers to courses where students can access course materials such as lectures, readings, and assignments on their own time. This means that students enrolled in a course can engage in learning at different times because there is no set class time. So for instance, the asynchronous component of this CILT course requires you to participate in online discussions and watch video tutorials. And in the CUT course, participants have to complete a guided project and take a quiz or two. And all of this is part of asynchronous learning. Now, synchronous learning, on the other hand, is any type of learning that takes place in real time, where a group of people are engaging in learning simultaneously. Although learning occurs at the same time, learners don't have to be there in person or even be in the same location. And a perfect example of this would be our Zoom class session, where we are all virtually connected from different locations. So synchronous learning enables learners to ask questions and receive answers on the spot while collaborating freely with their co-workers. Sorry, co-learners, that is, my apologies. And of course, live classroom sessions and on-the-job coaching are other examples of synchronous formats that have learners gathering, participating, and getting hands-on experience in a face-to-face setting with an instructor or experienced co-worker as the coach. Now, asynchronous and synchronous learning are terms that have been widely used in the educational landscape, but lately they have become quite common in other sectors because of the popularity of MOOCs, especially during and after the pandemic. Taking a look in the past, we can see that the COVID-19 pandemic, I hope we don't have to experience it again, but the COVID-19 pandemic, thank you, forced both students and instructors into the world of online learning. Teachers went above and beyond to change lesson plans previously designed for learning in a physical classroom, and they now had to tailor these lessons to cater for an online learning environment. So they use technologies like Zoom and Microsoft Teams to deliver synchronous sessions and Canvas or Google Classroom to upload learning materials and activities that students can access at any time. In a post-pandemic world, remote learning is embraced by not only educational institutions, but we have organizations in the business sector moving towards both synchronous and asynchronous learning to improve their professional development training. When we consider cost, engagement, inclusivity, and flexibility, this approach is often used. And again, the CILT course is the perfect example of an asynchronous and synchronous approach where participants engage with the learning materials and activities in Canvas on their own time. However, we have live sessions every other Wednesday where we interact in real time. Now, let's take a moment to tickle our brains a bit. We've been talking about asynchronous and synchronous learning. Let's try to identify the advantages and disadvantages of these learning approaches. So I'll be launching a short quiz, and you will have 5 minutes to read the sentences and choose whether they are related to asynchronous learning or synchronous learning. Now, it's okay if you can't respond to all the quiz items, but please complete as much as you can. Are you all seeing the quiz? Thumbs up if you could see it.
Yes.
You all can? Okay, great. Okay. Based on these quiz results, you all did a very good job. That means you all are paying attention, and I appreciate the attention that you all are paying to my presentation. So thank you very much for participating in this quiz. So we know that learning that takes place in real time with a group of learners, whether it is online, via live webinars, live virtual classrooms, or in a face-to-face setting, this is referred to as synchronous learning. And as an example, I will refer to this session where we have a group of learners in a Zoom meeting all at the same time. And of course, synchronous learning is referred to as collaborative and feedback friendly. And here in the Zoom video conferencing platform, we have the reactions, chat, and breakout room features to facilitate this collaborative and feedback friendly environment. Whereas when learners complete courses in their own time, regardless of the location, For instance, in this CILT course, we have videos and a discussion forum that can be accessed at any time. And this approach is more learner-centered. It is considered to be asynchronous learning. Looking at the advantages of this approach or these approaches, in synchronous learning, the learners have high interactions with their instructors and other learners, and feedback is also immediate. So in a Zoom session, you can be unmuted to ask a question and the instructor can respond instantly. On the other hand, with asynchronous learning, learners go at their own pace. It is also considered to be very cost effective, and this approach can be used to train thousands of learners. Just consider the wide variety of MOOCs that exist today on platforms like Coursera. However, there are downsides to each approach. With the synchronous approach, learners can't access content where and when they like. Also, because these classes are done virtually, class attendance may be high, and some learners may feel that they are not getting individual attention as needed. Additionally, the quality of class sessions depend on the instructor. So they are tasked with the responsibility of creating sessions that are exciting and engaging to avoid Zoom fatigue. On the other hand, with asynchronous learning, contact with the instructor or other participants may be limited, which may leave some learners feeling isolated. And learners need to be self-dependent, self-disciplined, and motivated to complete these courses. The asynchronous approach can be a bit of a challenge for younger learners who rely on guidance from their instructors. Moving on, let's look at another key phrase, and that is the digital learning environment. Now, this is described as an online learning space designed to facilitate a collaborative teaching and learning experience for both students and staff using a variety of tools and features. It is also considered the ecosystem of digital tools, resources, materials, and related technologies that support the many pathways of teaching and learning. And in simple terms, it is considered the hub of online teaching and learning. It includes the technologies, tools, and skills that instructors and students use to connect in the virtual classroom. Now, behind these wordy definitions of the term digital learning environment, there are three major components. The first is the technological component, like the Canvas learning management system. And for context, a learning management system is a software designed to create, distribute, and manage educational content. Now, besides the Canvas LMS, Moodle, and Google Classroom are other widely used learning management systems. The second component is the human factor. This consists of students, workshop participants, teachers, or facilitators. Now, it is important to note that the digital learning environment is not confined to a school setting. Companies that choose to train their employees using an asynchronous format may also use a learning management system. And lastly, there's the educational component, which includes the learning materials, the learning activities, the assessments, and more. If we consider the asynchronous element of this CILT course, you will notice that all of these components are present. I am certain that you're already thinking about how you can use Canvas in your various job capacities. Now let's look at why you should learn more about Canvas and how you can use the Canvas LMS. As part of your role in an academic program, you may be required to assist instructors or students. And I am certain that you may have encountered the term Canvas in your interactions with them. For instance, as a teaching assistant, you may be required to assist an instructor with organizing their Canvas courses, or as a program officer, students may have reached out to you to ask Canvas-related questions. Having a good understanding of the Canvas LMS will allow you to assist students with minor issues and ensure that instructors' Canvas courses meet the necessary requirements and they are organized effectively. It is also important to remember that learning is a lifelong process. We are all continuous learners. For instance, you may be enrolled in a UTT program or another university's program that uses Moodle or any other learning management system. Or you may plan to enroll in a MOOC in the future. Understanding how an LMS functions will help you as a student to navigate the digital environment with more confidence and avoid feeling overwhelmed by the technology. And finally, it is valuable to familiarize yourself with the features and settings required to create a Canvas course that will be beneficial for your program or department. Now let's explore how you can use Canvas. Several of the participants in our previous CILT cohort expressed interest in utilizing Canvas to create short courses. Members of the library staff mentioned that Canvas can be used effectively to develop short courses for sharing resources during information literacy sessions. A laboratory technician also indicated that Canvas can be used to create a safety course that includes video demonstrations of equipment used in the lab and also laboratory exercises. And additionally, a few years ago, TLIS collaborated with the Student Support Services Unit to create a student orientation course as a supplement to the in-person orientation sessions, providing students with access to information beyond the orientation period. And I know that in the past, the Human Resources Department here at UTT conducted workshops at various campuses, primarily in person. However, replacing these in-person sessions with Canvas courses can reduce training and development costs and expedite the training process without compromising the quality of the content shared in these sessions. Another feature that has great significance here at UTT is the announcement feature in Canvas. These announcements can be Canvas-related updates from UTT's Canvas team. However, using the global announcement feature can be an excellent way to share general information with the students and instructors in your program, and by extension, share information with the student population. So for instance, the examinations unit would have used it to share timetables or information about supplementary exams. The sports department would have used it to share sporting events. TLIS, would use it to share information about upcoming workshops. Counselors have used it to share counseling information. And of course, the course evaluation reminders are usually shared here in the announcement feature. It is important to note that while we encourage using the global announcement feature, it is important, it is not meant to replace your usual methods of sharing information such as emails. One second. It is important to note that while we encourage using the global announcement feature, it is not meant to replace your usual methods of sharing information, such as emails, such as the My Portal campus or your program's announcement board. Excuse me for a second, I'm being distracted, so let me just go tell my, 1 second. All right, so my apologies. All right, so we are not encouraging you to use the global announcement feature to replace your usual methods of sharing information, such as emails, My Portal, or your program's announcement board. Rather, we are recommending that you consider the global announcement in Canvas as an additional option for communicating with your stakeholders. Now, in the user account, we also have access to the ePortfolio feature in Canvas. The ePortfolio is a way to show off your work to your peers, whether they are students or instructors, and even your supervisors. They are made up of sections and pages that are customizable and you are able to add and remove different types of information. So students or instructors enrolled in a course can build e-portfolios to collect and document their educational projects, submissions, experiences, and work products. For instance, a participant in the previous CILT cohort expressed interest in using this feature to have students in the fashion program compile their fashion-related projects. And recently, this feature was used by instructors to showcase their work for the annual Teaching Awards. Now let's pause to get some feedback. Why do you think it is important to learn about the Canvas LMS, and how do you think you can use it? So you can choose to type your responses in the chat or use the raise hand feature to share responses. Anybody? Don't be shy.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so why do you think it is important to learn about the Canvas LMS? So why do you want to learn about the Canvas LMS? And how do you think you can use it in your program or your unit or your department? You can choose to type your response in the chat, or we can unmute you and you could share your responses. Avalon? Okay, so Mira said that it's a versatile platform for teaching, learning, and collaboration. Charisse, any idea?
Well, for me, why I want to learn about the Canvas LMS is in particular, well, to focus mainly on the developing of training courses, yeah, in particular. And that ties into the next question, which is to consider the duties, how you think you can use it. QA and IE, we usually oversee or facilitate the accreditation of programs, the reaccreditation process of the university, liaising with ACTT, ensuring that the program offerings are accredited, right? We also do facilities monitoring reviews, and we do also other quality reviews. So all these are a set of processes that we need to guide the university about or on. So we feel that in the future, especially since we would have done it already with the quinquennial program reviews that we are currently rolling out, we feel that this is a good opportunity for us to develop training courses or short courses just to guide the university on these processes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah.
So we have Jillian said that it serves as a centralized platform where I can access all materials. It will help streamline the learning process and ensure easy access to resources. It also enhances communication. Janelle said that she wants to learn about Canvas to create learning content and videos for lab sessions, also to assist instructors and students who may not know how to use some features of Canvas. And Andy said that I do believe we all have one goal, which is education of our clients, and that is the students. Kalia said that I want to learn about the Canvas LMS so that I can become familiar with the features and be able to assist lecturers and students when necessary. And Florence said that it will allow me to better assist faculty members with their grant applications and consultancies. ensure students have access to essential information for their mobility programs, and strengthen my overall effectiveness in managing international partnership and funding opportunities. And Tashana said it will assist to engage with students and teaching personnel at various times, while allowing all teaching materials to be accessible at the most convenient times. So thank you very much for sharing the reasons why you would like to learn about Canvas and how you plan to use Canvas in the future. So now that we have a general idea of what an asynchronous digital learning environment is, we can now explore the Canvas LMS. So some of you may already be familiar with Canvas because you may have helped a student or instructor in the past with a concern or a Canvas-related question. So you're somewhat familiar with the interface. But some of you may be new to Canvas and you were introduced to this platform when you enrolled in this course. Regardless of your knowledge of Canvas, it is important to have a good understanding of the features and settings. This will enable you to make more informed decisions should you decide to use it to create a course, a workshop, or if you are already enrolled in a course in the Canvas LMS. For those of you who provide support, having a good understanding of Canvas will allow you to provide quicker and more effective assistance to students and instructors. So let's begin with the point of entry. How do you access Canvas? And of course, Canvas is located in the My Apps dashboard of the My Portal, My Campus portal. All right, so to get access, we simply go to mycampus.utt.edu.tt. We enter our login credentials. And of course, you may be required to follow the steps in the authenticator prompt. Now, once you have access to the My Apps dashboard, you will notice that the Canvas app is the first item on the list. So go ahead and click on the app, and you will be redirected to the Canvas platform. And by default, when you log into your Canvas account, the first thing you will see is the dashboard. And this is your landing page. It will display the courses you are enrolled in as a student. And if you are a teacher in a course, those courses will also appear on the dashboard. For those of you who are teaching assistants or maybe future instructors or course facilitators, the published courses will be displayed at the top and the unpublished courses will be displayed here. In addition to the courses on your dashboard, sometimes you may see a few global announcements when you log in. And as mentioned before, this is a great way to share information with the instructors and students in your program. Moving on, over here to the right usually includes a to-do list, and these are notifications or reminders that relate to specific courses. So if you're a student or instructor, you will have an idea as to what's coming up in your class. All right, and as you can see here, I'm a facilitator in the CUT and CILT courses, so I'm being reminded that these activities are due on this particular date. So whether you're a teaching assistant or a student in a Canvas course, or even an instructor or course facilitator, it is important to pay close attention to this section when you log into your Canvas Pro account. Now, if you look at my screen, you will see a few icons displayed vertically on the left. This is the global navigation menu in Canvas. And when you click on these icons, you have access to features and settings in Canvas, with the exception of the admin icon, because only Canvas admins and the ID team have access to this feature. So to the top, we have the account icon. And here you can access your notification settings. You can also access the ePortfolio feature I mentioned earlier. And you also have access to UTT libraries and past and current global announcements. Here we have the course icon. And when you are enrolled in more than one Canvas course, you can customize the active courses you want to show in your course list. Courses you want to show in your courses drop-down menu are called favorite courses. And you can favorite any active course that appears on the course list by simply clicking on the star icon here. And these courses will appear on your dashboard and you can easily access them. Moving on, we have the calendar icon. And the calendar is a very convenient way for you to see all your upcoming tasks for each of your courses in one place. You can choose to view calendar items by week, by month, or in an agenda list. The calendar will show information for all your enrolled courses and groups, and you can add an event or to-do item to your personal calendar simply by clicking on this icon here. And here we have the inbox icon, and this can be used to communicate with your instructors and classmates. By clicking on this icon here, you can compose a message and send it to them. And this is one way of communicating in this asynchronous setting. Now, as an instructor or student, you can access a list of your recent Canvas course page views by using the history link in the global navigation. And it should display the most recent pages, that you would have accessed within 3 weeks. I'm not too sure why it's not displaying my page history. And lastly, if you need any help with anything Canvas related, you can access the help menu, which provides a list of resources to assist you. All right, so these are the main features in the Canvas Global Navigation menu. Now, in a subsequent session, we will delve into the Canvas Core Shell template and explore some of the features and settings in a Canvas course. We'll go through the steps to add the Canvas Core Shell template and add course learning materials and course learning activities, all right? So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. My apologies for the interruptions in between. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the raise hand icon and you will be unmuted and you can ask your questions. Any questions? Or you could use the chat as well if you would like to ask a question. All right. We have no questions. Oh, we have one question. Whose hands is this? Nisha.
It's me, Shelley.
Hey, Nisha.
Hey, Shelley. With the Canvas, I was thinking it's a good way to digitize your frequently asked questions, but I was wondering as well, like, could I make a poll there and keep the answers? Like, I want to poll people who use the AV systems. So I'm thinking I could just make a couple of multiple choice questions, have them click on whatever is the answer and something open-ended, but can I keep their responses after?
What you can do is, if you create a quiz using maybe the questions, so there's a feature in Canvas called Canvas Quizzes. All right, so you could probably create a quiz in the form of a survey to ask questions, and that way you could document their responses. Or if not,
how long?
Sorry, if not, you could create a global announcement with a link to your survey items or questions.
How long will the responses stay? Does it disappear after a while?
It does disappear after a while. I'm not too sure. I'll have to verify with the Canvas team, but it shouldn't disappear immediately. It should be there for some time.
Okay,
Right? So you have
cool.
two options
Thanks.
to consider.
Both
You're
sound
welcome.
great.
You're welcome. Any more questions? All right, so I see that we don't have any more hands raised and no questions in the chat. Oh, wait, 1 second. Oh, someone said that the next synchronous session will be on a public holiday. What is the arrangement? Okay, Janelle, so in the next session, what we'll be doing is actually creating a Canvas course. So we'll go through the steps of importing our Canvas course shell template, adding learning materials and learning activities. And yeah, basically that's what we'll be doing in the next session. With regards to the synchronous session that falls on a public holiday, we will send you an announcement. So please pay attention to the announcement section in your course. And this is CILT course. We will send you an announcement with the date for next session. All right. So thank you very much for joining this session and do have a pleasant evening. Thanks again for your attention and your questions and your participation. Bye.
Bye, Shelly.
Bye, Nisha.
Bye there.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, Shelley.
Bye, Charisse.